Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Quick Launch Live. I am Frank Data D. Lorenzo, really pumped up for today's session, so we will get right to it. But a few housekeeping items. We love questions, so please use the comments to enter any questions. Can't commit we answer them all on the session as we try and keep it to 15 minutes, but I will commit. We'll make sure we get back and answer every question. And if you're here with us live, always love if you put a one in the chat so we know you're here. Two in the chat if you're watching a recording later. It's always nice to know that these are being seen. And a three in the chat if you want us to make sure we reach out to you and talk about this deeper. Remember, folks, 15 minutes. Our mission is to kind of give you some food for thought, some tips, some tricks, some direction. But if there's any topic that you want to dive into deeper, just reach out. We love to do it. We're all about your data. Now, why I'm excited today is we have spent the last all of our sessions on Quick Launch Live to date talking about the product and capabilities, Power BI, data visualizations, a data model, best practices, governance, security, all product and technology, which is important. But there's another equally important leg to this stool, if you will, for success, and that is the people side. You have product, people. With people, you need to have good training and a good approach to an implementation. What are some of the best practices? So we're probably going to make this a mini series. We'll have a few of these because there's a lot to unpack, but it's my sincere pleasure to introduce you today to our customer success director, whose career passion really is assisting clients and getting success out of their business intelligence and data driven initiatives, helping them guide them through the training process so they come out winners. So without further ado, hails from Colorado. Please meet Miss Paula Frederickson. Paula, say hello and take it away.
Thank you, Frank. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. And as Frank said, I think when you're going through a project, you really focus on the technical aspects of it to make sure you get all that right. And that's really important. But then the next step is how do you get adoption? How do you roll this out to your user community and make sure that it's a success? And so, like he said, it is definitely a passion of mine. And so I'm so happy that I get to be here um, and really show you guys some of the tips and tricks that I like to share with our customers. And I'm going to go ahead and show my screen real quick here. So just a second.
Morning, Jill. Morning, LinkedIn user. And hello, Paula. They're saying you already got fans, Paula.
Oh,
So, Paula,
I
just
love
share
it.
your screen again and I'll make sure we pop it up there.
Yep, I've got it up there. Sorry, it dropped off earlier. So you
That's
should
all
be able
right.
to see it.
Coming to folks
Perfect.
in three, two, now. Take it away.
Yay. All right. So, as I said, I'm here to talk to you about adoption. And none of this is earth shattering or something you probably haven't heard already. But there are key things that are really important. And I think because it seems so obvious, that a lot of times we don't always follow through on them. So, when you're thinking about keys to adoption and how to make sure that you're going to get the usage that you want out of the product that maybe you're implementing today, is training. Make sure you've got training ready to go, communication and socialization, and also a tailored approach. So I'm going to dive into each one of those a little bit deeper and make sure that we are all on the same page. So when it comes to training, oftentimes I hear and I see that the first thing that gets scratched off of a contract is training. The value of
Mm,
training is far more than the dollar amount that you're seeing. It's really important that you invest in that training, get the formal training from the partner that you're working with. They have all the knowledge. They know exactly how to use the product to best get the value for your company. And then when you skip on that, oftentimes you miss little things that you could have learned and do differently in your organization that down the road tend to be speed bumps or roadblocks. So, again, invest in that formal training. Don't cross that off. Make sure you're going through it. And for that formal training, have in mind and identify those users that you think are the best fit to go to the training. The ones that have the attitude, they want to learn more, they want to take that knowledge and share it with others. If you can identify them and get them in the training class, they're going to be so hungry for that information. It's going to make everything much easier as you move forward. You need to create some accountability for people who have gone to training. Make sure that you're circling back with them maybe every 2 weeks or once a month at a minimum to ask them what have they done? What have they created? What questions do they have? That way, they know that they are responsible for actually getting into the product and using it and starting to develop the things that you need for your organization. If you just have them go to training and then send them on their way, likely they're going to fall back into their old patterns and use the old ways of doing things. So make sure you've got some accountability set up. It's also important to provide ongoing training. You can do the initial training, but then make sure there's opportunities for those people, for all your end users really, to continue to get knowledge and to grow in what they know how to do and how to do it. And that might be, providing links to websites. Hopefully the partner that you're working with has some of those capabilities built in so that it's an easy thing. You can just point your users to them and they can go out there and get that information. And that really goes down to the next level here, which is resources. Make sure you're giving your team resources to use, whether it's how to get answers to questions that they have, how to get support, how to get additional training. I know we here have a special site for our customers specifically that has articles and videos and training available to them 24/7. We also do customer education sessions a couple times a month to make sure that we're giving them the ability to learn more and upskill. And that just helps, again, grow the knowledge, and it will, trust me, grow your adoption at your company. The next piece is communication and socialization. And I know that a lot of times when you're on a project team, you have the feeling that everybody in the company probably knows what's happening and why you're doing it, but that's not the case. Most of the times, it's not the case. People hear little things, they hear keywords, they hear a product title, but they don't really understand what it means. And that can create a lot of fear within your organization. So you want to make sure you're communicating often. And you can use different ways of doing that. It can be a simple email that goes out to your user group, to your business users. It might be a department meeting or a company meeting, or if you have an intranet, there might be things posted out there. It's really important to get in front of that information and make sure that you're giving your users the knowledge so they don't have to be afraid. Let them know what's coming, let them know why it's coming, and tell them all the time how important it is. Show them the value, tell them what they're going to get out of it. What's in it for me is what we all think about, right? Well, what's in it for me? Let them know. Let them know how their job's going to get better, how they're going to save time. Those things are important and will help them with the adoption. If they're scared of it, they're going to be much more likely to push it to the side and continue using the old way that they used to do things. And then the last piece here is tailored approach. One size does not fit all. And you have to take that into account. You really need to make sure that when you roll out the product to the team, to the business users, that you're thinking about your audience. Who are they? What's important to them? What do they need to see on a daily basis? You can't take, for instance, maybe some reports for a manufacturing group and then use those same reports for the sales team. The sales team won't see any value in that and they won't be able to relate to it. So make sure it's relatable, that they see information. Oh, that makes sense. I could use that tomorrow. And even better, if you can let them leave when you roll this out to them and they can leave that meeting or that session with 2 or 3 tools in hand that they can go back to their desk and start using, that's amazing. And that will really grow your adoption quickly because once they're in there using it, they're going to see more and more value. And that's what you want. You want your end users to find value in what you're rolling out. So take the time, and sometimes this delays the rollout just a little bit, but the more relatable, the better for your team and for gaining that adoption piece. So those are my 3 things that I like to talk about with our customers here. Training, socialization and communication, and a tailored approach. And if you do those 3 things, I promise you the adoption piece will grow and grow. I've also included, just specific to Power BI, there's a few resources out there that you can go to if you're trying to learn a little bit more or practice with it. You can go to Microsoft.com. LinkedIn has some great training. And then the last one is Udemy. I'm not really sure how to say that one, but they have some great courses. So if somebody's interested in learning more about Power BI specifically, those are 3 great resources to go to.
Paula, this is
Frank?
great. And I don't know if you saw me trying to talk. I purposely muted myself because I get too excited on the training aspect and did not want to interrupt you. But we have a few minutes. If we could have a
Yeah.
little dialogue around a few topics. One comment out there that I think really will be best answered in a follow-on training quick launch live is, what is the plan? What does a plan look like? I think we could take 15 minutes, Paula. You could, hopefully agree, but I think we could do that. So that's great. Thank you out there, LinkedIn user. Um, but a couple of things, Paula, I'm thinking about. Is it
Yeah.
possible uh, when I used to do some training, never at your level, of course, but quick wins. If we have something that I used to call low hanging fruit and we can make that a quick victory, do you find that that instills a little or inspires a little confidence or energy in the team to motivate them for more?
Yes, absolutely. If you can identify a couple areas that you're like, if we could get this done, maybe for the executive group or for a specific business group, and you're like, this is the one thing that they will just go nuts for. And thinking of Power BI, maybe it's some KPIs or some
Hmm.
analytics or report that they need. Yes, if you build that out before you do the training and the rollout, and then you can show them the outcome, it helps immensely. They're in immediately and they can see the value.
That's great. A follow on to that, Paul. I believe I hear this with some of our clients that you're engaged with. Certainly, is it possible for them to have a dashboard or a report that would really be impactful and use that in the training process so they come out really, hopefully, two things: a better skill set and an asset that can be put to use immediately. Could you speak on that for a moment?
Yeah, that's one of our best practices is when we go into training, we always ask our customers to provide, a couple reports or dashboards that we can build during the training. So not only is the class going through that and learning the functionality and building it, but they're building something that's important to them and they can see, after the first day or two, wow, here it is and look how easy it was to build. And that again, yeah, Frank, thanks for bringing that up. Getting those kind of things and incorporating that into the training is very important.
I bring it up, Paula, because I have, I think, the fun, easy part of the job at times when the client will tell me after the fact, yeah, I've got this equipment dashboard or whatever it is, inventory, fantastic. So I love the result I hear. So I thought it was worth asking you about, and thank you. And then my
Yeah.
final kind of point, I want to kind of tie this together if you could help me, Paula. So, there's Power BI, which is a great tool. Magic Quadrant and Gartner shows it's clearly a leader or the leader in business intelligence, and there's a lot of buzz around Power BI. So that's great. We've spent quite a few quick launch lives touching on uh, getting the data transformed into a best practices data model that you can govern and secure. So I want to tie the two together. If you don't mind just kind of concluding with how does having that kind of data model improve or maybe speed or focus the training around this, as opposed to say you were training somebody to use just Power BI off, we'll just say JD Edwards data, directly.
Yeah, I mean, having the information built in a way that makes it really simple and easy for users to find what they need. So having it already grouped in a logical way, let's talk AP, sales,
Mhm.
those kind of things, and knowing that that's where you go to find that field or that column, it's a huge advantage because otherwise there's using JD Edwards specifically, there's a lot of tables, there's a lot of fields out there. And if you don't know them by heart, they can be difficult to find. So with us building out our system so that it's already there and packaged up in this nice way so that it makes it really easy for end users to find exactly what they need. Like I said, whether it's a field or report or a measure calculation.
Paula, thank you. And you made the answer much better than my ask. I could have formulated that question better, but your answer was spot on because I know when I have folks that have tried to just load Power BI and whatever their ERP is, let me go get some data. Now they have to
Yeah.
become IT formula writing specialists to do anything with it.
Yeah,
So
Power
again,
BI is an amazing tool for sure.
yeah.
But when you start thinking about how you pull everything together that you need, you really have to have a lot of time on your hands if you're going to go find everything, or something that's working in your favor. That's got some of those things pre-built for you.
Paula, fantastic. Any other final words for the audience? I'm going to wrap it up if you don't have anything else.
Nope, this was terrific. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I want to say, I'm going to have you again, so get ready. I want to say a happy morning to Jill, Ben, I see, a couple of different LinkedIn users. Thank you for joining us. So I'll talk to Paula and see if we can invite her back maybe next week to talk more about what a
Ooh.
training plan for success may look like. Maybe a sample plan, but we'll formulate something of value, for our next 15 minutes. And again, reach out to us. Anyone at Preferred Strategies would love to talk to you. We're all about your data. Have a fantastic day, Paula. Special thank you to you.